Now, as far as Maharashtra is concerned, it is a state which is battling and struggling to deal with the coronavirus crisis. But at the same time, you would assume that the focus is going to be to deal with the coronavirus. When you look at the statements that are coming in from politician after politician in Maharashtra, it is very clear that coronavirus seems to be the last thing on the mind of politicians in Maharashtra. Amid the pandemic, there seems to be a string of meetings, and one really does not know what the purpose of this meeting is. It is being seen as perhaps an attempt, or there is an allegation that perhaps the Bharatiya Janata Party is planning an Operation Kamal Part 2 in the state of Maharashtra amid this coronavirus crisis. I have with me Shaina NC of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Shaina, first of all, how would you respond to that allegation that in the middle of this crisis, the BJP would much rather dream of forming its government in Maharashtra?
The honest truth is that this is the biggest crisis that humanity is facing, and this is not the type for politicking, and we have not resorted to any kind of politicking. If you see our leader of opposition, Devendra Fadnavis, until today did not even take a press conference, said all along, even though we are in the opposition, we sit with the Maha Vikas Aghadi on multiple forums. The reality is that you had lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3. To create better infrastructure, you had the facility provided by the central government, the budgets which were given to the tune of 18,000 crores, which was highlighted today in Devendra Fadnavis's press conference. And despite that, you have an absolute collapse. You don't have testing, you don't have tracing, you don't have treatment. Obviously, it's a very worrying scenario in Mumbai and Maharashtra. If we are going to be compared to Moscow, and if we are going to have so many escalation when it comes to cases in Mumbai and cases in Maharashtra, we are not proud of the fact that we're number one in the country. We should be number one as far as ensuring that we're able to contain the disease, and
Sure.
we're able to resort to all kinds of...
Is this the reason perhaps why, Shaina, a tall leader like Mr. Rane met the governor to suggest president's rule in the state? Because, you know, the last thing that Maharashtra needs right now is no government.
Well, every leader is concerned. You take the case, you yourself highlighted, you had a case in multiple cases in Sion Hospital and KEM hospitals where you had dead bodies in the ward of COVID patients. Now, this is a very worrying syndrome. You have the warriors, which is the doctors and the nursing staff, who are explaining that they're finding it very difficult to work in these scenarios. PPE kits and masks which have been given by the central government, even those have not been distributed to the way it should. We talk about the migrant issue. It's all very well to say that we want them to go back. Yes, but have a system in place. Piyush Goyal, the railway minister himself, said, what 125 trains are you talking about? Not even the list has been provided for 45, and the railways have given 85% of the remuneration, requesting the states to give 15%. So there are multiple issues which have gone unaddressed. Okay. You put migrant labor saying social distancing in buses and drop them on the borders of Maharashtra and saying, now fend for yourself. Is this fair? Is this humane? So obviously every party is going to be concerned, and every leader in the state is going to bring up the lacunas in the system. If we can work hand in glove, so be it. You hear Mr. Rahul Gandhi...
That's exactly the point, Shaina. Is the opposition and the ruling combined, the three parties, together in fighting COVID-19 in the state of Maharashtra? Because if you look at the statements, it is very clear that you are not. In fact, Sharad Pawar, in an interview earlier in the day to NDTV, says that Fadnavis is restless. Those were his words, that he is restless to form a government. But that is not going to happen.
I'll give you a counter. What did Mr. Rahul Gandhi say in his press conference today? He complimented the Prime Minister, saying this is the beauty of a democracy. When he was pointed a question on Maharashtra, he said that this is a coalition where I don't have certain answers, and it's not a coalition like the way our governments function in Punjab or in Rajasthan. What does that mean? You are making a direct allegation on Mr. Uddhav Thackeray and the Shiv Sena and Congress. Where is their synergy? Obviously, everyone is just doing their own thing. The point is not about politics. Please understand, as a Mumbaikar, what do we want? We want better health infrastructure. We want to contain this corona invisible terrorists, and that can only happen through political will and systems in place. You cannot have a lynching in Palghar and then a lynching in Nanded and then say law and order situation is in control.
Shaina,
it is not.
I get the point, but you know, when you look at statements from the opposition, it has been anything but pleasant. It's very clear that there is a sense of confrontation that one can see, particularly in Maharashtra. My final question to you, and I want you to clear the air. There's a lot of speculation that 11 Congress MLAs are in touch with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Perhaps, I do not know, perhaps to jump ship, perhaps they're unhappy in their existing alliance. Would you like to confirm this news for us? Because that's the allegation, that this is Operation Kamal in the middle of a crisis.
Look, I'm not going to go into any speculation and any hearsay and rumor mongering. I don't think that's right. Right now, we're here to fight corona and we're here to fight it unanimously and with constructive criticism, so be it. And if not, with the correct dues that are necessary in the health sector, as far as agriculture is concerned, as far as people who are probably going to lose their jobs in the days to come, these are the core issues. As far as the political instability, that's a foregone. You cannot have a government where you have the Shiv Sena saying something, the Congress saying something totally different, and the NCP trying to balance.
Okay.
Mr. Prabhu commenting Piyush Goyal, and then you have Uddhav Thackeray questioning the railway ministry. I mean, I don't waste our time on that.
Okay.
Let's focus on the issue is infrastructure, opening of the lockdown, people, and making sure Mumbai is back on track.
All right. Shaina NC, many thanks for joining us on this broadcast.